everybody. Welcome back to the How to Podcast series. I love podcasting because I get to meet some of the happiest, nicest people in the world. And when they also have a podcast, that's bonus points. And Hollis is here. We're going to be talking about her journey as an author, a podcaster, so much more. She's been on my other show, the Living the Next Chapter podcast, to talk about her journey as an author. She is so much fun to talk to. And you're going to love her and her show and everything about her. Hollis, welcome as my guest co-host. So glad to have you here.
Nice to see you again, Dave. We gotta do this more often. We're just gonna start hanging out all the time, and people will be very bothered by us. They'll just I'll be very tired.
We'll be a podcast item, the two of us. I like it. This is great. Good stuff. Talk about, first of all, where are you, Hollis? Like for people listening and watching, where are you in this big world of ours?
So I am in the North Metro Atlanta area in the state of Georgia. So a little place called Swanee, which is, it's still Metro Atlanta. You know, you can just hop on the highway, but it's really nice. I like it a lot. There's, it's a good little community, lots of like walking trails and Asian markets and good food.
Good.
Yeah. Big cafe person. And they have some of the best Korean cafes probably in the nation right here, because we have such a high Korean population. So it's great. We get all the stuff. We even have like Korean retailers that I went to last night.
Wow. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
All right.
Yeah.
That's another whole podcast on its own. I like that. Let's talk about your show, like your podcast. What is it about? What's it called? Where can we find it? Let's start there.
All right. Well, it's called I Do What I Want.
I like
exclamation
it.
point.
It's a good name.
It's sort of my catchphrase.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a belligerent person, but I am stubborn. And so I was like, what better? Because this is essentially me doing whatever I want. The end.
Yeah.
And I started it because I wanted people to know I existed as an author.
Okay.
You know, I guess everybody has a podcast, you know. I was just like, don't we all?
Right.
Okay, me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. And then where can we find it? Like, I know you're on YouTube. Where are you on all the players? Like, tell us more.
I have a Spotify channel, and again, just I Do What I Want, exclamation point. You'll find me, or my name. It's difficult to find another Hollis Jo McCollum out there.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much that. And I do YouTube whenever I record the podcast. I do it live, no editing every time, because I am lazy. And
you do whatever you want.
I do whatever I want, and I fully admit that editing is not my strong point, but improv is a strong point, so we're good.
Oh.
Did you do improv?
I've never done it. I love watching it. But
it's fun.
That's actually a very good point, Hollis. I believe all podcasters should have some sort of interaction with improv. When we are hosting or guesting, we are basically doing improv, maybe not comedy, but we're doing improv. We are reacting in real time to our guests as a host. And it just feels like it's a little unscripted, these conversations we're having. I'm not reading from a script, and now you're going to read from your script, right?
I have a pen in my hand, but that's just because I was making lists.
Yeah.
This is not a script.
Right. So talk a little bit more about the improv side. I think that's a really good point you just brought up.
Yeah, well, you got to yes and the situation, right?
Yes.
That's any interviewer, anyone. I think it applies to any fields that's conversing with another human, even acting. You need to turn on a dime conversationally. And I was a drama nerd in high school. I'm not an actor, but I was in a few school plays.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very
La-di-da.
I also helped carry the sets. But
yes.
But
right.
Yes. Yeah, it was really, I really enjoyed it because we did improv exercises, and I'm the sort of person who's very open and silly, as you know. I have no inhibitions, kind of problems or whatever. I'm confident all the way up to 10. And and so you just sort of, when you let go and you can learn to laugh with it, because it's okay to make mistakes. I think that's another thing improv teaches people is there are no mistakes. Even if you think, oh, it would have been funnier if I said my nose itched or I don't know, whatever. But it's just like, no, because what came out of your mouth is just a different opportunity. That's all it is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other side too is being a good listener. Because if we're doing improv together and I'm working off of you and you're working off of me, I can't be thinking about, did I lock my car? I don't think I locked my car. And like, oh wait, you just finished talking. Now I'm supposed to respond to you. I wasn't listening to anything you just said. So now, crap, I totally just screwed this up, right? You really got to listen to each other in improv and really work off each other. You really got to be connected to the other person that you're on stage with. And then that translates into podcasting. And your guest is talking and sometimes your mind starts to go off and you're like, what are we going to have for dinner tonight? Wait a minute. I forgot that I had my guest here, right? Yeah. So I think listening is a really key part of podcasting and improv. I think that really goes together.
Well, it goes, and like you said, it's just being present in the moment. Right. Exactly. You just have to be present, because if you're not focused on what you're doing, then it's not going to be as entertaining. It's not going to be as fun. It's not. No one's having fun if you're not paying attention.
Right.
And that works in school too, because you don't have fun if you don't know, if you don't pay attention in school.
And then we have these little things that we carry around in our pockets and we love to take selfies on them. But the worst thing is when you're talking to somebody and pouring your heart out to someone about how hard your day's been. And when you look over at the person you're talking to and they're looking at their phone and they're like, yeah, and they're like, repeat to me what I just said. And you're like, I was watching TikToks. I didn't really hear you. How frustrating, right? So in a world that's surrounded by phones, I think this is a great opposite is this kind of interaction with people. And I don't know, this is actually quite uncomfortable for some people to do this kind of thing. Like we do job interviews and that's about it, right?
That's and that's the thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go on a little story tangent for a second. Okay, so I will not mention names out of because it will be embarrassing for my friend's teenage daughter.
Okay.
But she's Gen Z, right? Yeah. She has a teenage daughter who's Gen Z. We all went out to lunch, and my friend is my age. We're both 43, and so went out to lunch, and it was one of those places where you order and then you get a little buzzer and then you will pick up your sandwiches and you bring them back to your table, right? Well, when we went and got our sandwiches, we brought them back to the table. My friend said, "Oh, we don't have any napkins." And, and that's fine. And we kind of looked and we didn't see a little kiosk or anything with napkins. And she just looked at her daughter and she said, "Hey, go ask the lady for some napkins, please." And the teenage girl went, "What? No." And we both looked at her so incredulously because this is also not a teenager who is super shy or withdrawn. Mm-hmm. She's a classic Gen Z representation, I would definitely say, and is too obsessed with her phone. But to her, the interaction and her mom she's like, "Go ask for napkins. You are my daughter. When I was your age, that was my job, was to go fetch things." Like we're older now. I have earned you fetching napkins. Yeah. Go. And she made her go. But her daughter was so upset about it because she was like, it's weird to talk
to people,
to strangers.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's not a stranger. That's someone that in the service and that just handed us this tray of food. Just like we were just go up there. "Excuse me, do you have some napkins, please? Thanks so much."
Done.
Done. But to her, to this at the time, this was like 2 years ago. At the time, I think she was 17, maybe 18. She was just appalled that she would have to ask a stranger for napkins.
Right.
And my friend and I were looking at each other, and when she came back to the table, we were like, we need to socialize you more.
Yeah.
There's something, your mom and your aunt are going to socialize you a little bit more. Like, this is not okay that you were like genuinely upset to go do something that was so ordinary, so boring and ordinary.
Yeah.
like what is, but it is, it's like, and I like to read a lot of psychological studies and do things like that. It's just a personal interest of mine. It's really disheartening, some of the things you read about what our phones are doing to us.
Yeah.
Especially the younger generation. Their problem-solving capabilities are...
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know how to navigate in-person experiences. I had 2 teenagers sitting side by side on their phones, texting away like crazy. And I said to one of them, "Who are you texting?" And he pointed to the person beside them. I'm like, seriously, your elbows are touching each other and you're texting each other? Like, I asked them for both of their phones. I put the phones down on the table in front of them. I said, and I turned their chairs to look at each other. I'm like, look, they're right there. Like, why are you?
This is not a cone of silence. You're allowed to verbalize.
You can see them. That's them. They're right there. Anyway. So it's just, I don't know if it's just their comfort level. It's just kind of what they're used to. Obviously, I'm looking at it from older eyes, but it just seemed odd to me that you couldn't talk to the person that's literally rubbing your shoulder.
Well, yeah, like that is unfortunately not an uncommon thing. And like, and his hobby is photography. Okay. And last night he and I went out, because what we'll do, I like to write in cafes because I handwrite all my first drafts, blah, blah. And he'll come with me and he'll take his fancy fun camera and I'll get some writing done while he wanders around and takes pictures and does, because he likes those candids, those like little slice of life kind of photos. And last night he got some good photos, but there were so many of just people nose to phone. And he was like, there was one person that he was like, I kept waiting for them to look up. I kept waiting for them to look up, and I wanted them to look up, and they would, like, he was like, I watched them for at least a solid 5 minutes and they did not move the phone out of their face the whole time. Yeah. It's just, but yeah, he had, of the couple dozen photos or whatever he took, like at least half of them were of people with their face in their phone. And it's just, I just can't, and then even standing in lines, if you're, I know standing in the line is boring, but we did manage before smartphones to just process some thoughts.
Something was going on. Yeah. Something
was going on. We could wait 10 minutes in a line, or, God forbid at the DMV for an hour or two. But we could sit there and we might turn around and talk to a stranger. You might make a friend. Mm-hmm. Right. You might formulate the plot to your next book. I don't know, but it's, anyway, we have gone off track, but it's a crazy world out there. And I just, everyone, please, PSA moment, please just like be present and just limit the phone time. This is all we ask. Talk to humans. Yeah. Like physical humans.
Start a podcast and then talk to humans. Right? There you go. There's the name of your show. Talk to Humans with Hollis. Mm-hmm. Right? There you go. I'm just going to talk to humans. There you go. Like for me, my wife would confirm I'm an introvert. So big, huge groups of people, it's not that I'm shy. It's just that they wear on me differently than they don't give me energy to the way my wife gets energy as an extrovert. She loves it. It fills her cup. I'm ready to leave. So for me, podcasting is a great way to interact with really interesting people, have great conversations, but I can kind of control the environment instead of feeling out of control in a large group of people that I don't know. So
or like you have to divert your attention all over creation. Yeah.
So this for me is good because then I know, I tell people I have like a dial, like we have a thermostat in our house to go hot or cold. I have a Dave dial, and I know when I go out in public, I got to turn up the Dave dial a little bit because my normal resting state is not very exciting. So I know I'm like, well, I'm going to meet Hollis, and Hollis is like a 10 on the, I'm excited. Yeah. And I'm like a 2. I know I got to turn it up to a 6 just to get anywhere close to Hollis. And that's good for me. That's really good for me to be in that mode because it makes me, it stretches me, right? A little bit. I like that part.
And being out of your comfort zone is a positive thing.
Yes.
It's very positive because when you're out of your comfort zone, you're growing.
Right. It's improv.
And now, see, we stayed on topic.
We brought it home, everyone. It's improv. We just did it.
Improv.
That was all planned,
It's about
everyone.
improv. We didn't realize that it was about improv, but that's the secret topic of the day.
That's it. Talk a little bit about how you do your interviews on your podcast. I know you have guests on your show. Do you have any kind of prep with your guests? Are you just meeting them and hitting record and hoping for the best? Like, how do you do your show?
So the very first episode of my show was actually originally going to be the only episode.
Oh.
Because, so the first episode I do with my best friend, and she and I, the book To Save a World was based on a D&D campaign that she and I played, as I talked about in the other episode. Everybody go watch the other episode so you get that scoop.
Good plug.
And and someone had suggested to me that I do a little podcast thing, like in a podcast format, talking with her about how the book came about. And I actually went through, I actually hired people because I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, do I need a microphone? I don't understand podcast. I don't I can computer, but I didn't know about how to do any of that. And so I hired a company called Audivita, who does the things. They're really lovely, by the way. Their prices are, maybe a little, but they really do give you the quality that you're paying for, and they're wonderful people to work with.
Nice.
If you're in the, just, I'm not sponsored, but I just enjoyed working with them very much.
Yes.
So Audivita is great. And they helped me get everything set up, and they helped me get set up on Spotify. They helped me figure it all out.
Good.
And we just talked about the first book, and Ashley and I have been best friends for over 30 years at this point. We are childhood friends essentially, and we have never wavered. And it was a really fun, just, so for her, I had like a little brief outline of just keeping us on task. I had like 5 milestones written down. It's like, hey, we have to remember to not go off into, Neverland with our conversation, because we are best friends that can talk forever.
Right.
And so other than the staying on task points, and to be honest, the other guests I've had on my show have been other authors and friends that I just know. So I didn't prep them.
No.
My friend Trip Ainsworth,
Yep.
I realized I've been saying Trip Ainsworth, and I just did his podcast. I've done many episodes of his podcast, the Smoke Pit Fairy Tales. I just did an episode last week with him, and I just realized I mispronounced his last name.
That's fun.
He said, and it was like, Trip, I have been mispronouncing your last name for like 6 years. And he was was like, I never noticed. Anyway, but he and I just shoot the shit all the time.
Yeah.
And and we will go off for 3-hour tangents. He loves history as well. We both enjoy terrible humor and laughing too much at stupid jokes, and just it goes off into oblivion. And I do voice work for his audiobooks as well. So
that's interesting.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I'm the main villain in like 4 of the books.
Do you have a villain voice?
Well, she isn't like a classic, like witchy, like hee 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 or anything like that, but she is, she's just a really terrible person. Diabolical. Her name is Samoom, and I don't want to spoil plot points or anything, but like, she's, an insidious villain. Like, she's actually in a relationship with the main character, who is good, but it's basically like the woman you should have never been with, the one that your mother told you about, like
warning signs,
but as diabolical as you can imagine, like truly evil. And so I actually gave her kind of like a pick-me girl voice, because that's what her personality was. So she talks like this, and I just don't understand why, that kind of thing. And her voice has a little bit of, I kind of go from back here with it.
Yeah.
So it changes the sound of my voice a little as well. And she has a little bit of that valley girl, spoiled, rich girl whine to her words. Yeah, and that's playful. That's the voice of the moon.
I like it.
Huh?
I like it's playful. Yeah, I like when people play with their voices, and I find monotone podcasts a little exhausting to listen to for a long period of time, when the host doesn't do anything special with their voice and just kind of it's just kind of like one thing. I'm a musician.
So have you done any voice work?
I have not well, except like musically, doing music stuff.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
But I find I love a song that's not one tempo, one thing all the way through, but has some highs and lows and breaks and faster, slower. I like variety in my music, and I like variety in the same way in podcasting. When the podcasters I listen to feel like an audiobook, that kind of level of creativity and voicing and, story. I love that. And I like pauses. One thing I tell people musically is the beautiful parts of music are found between the notes. So it's the pauses and it also allows the audience to catch up to you. Because if you just keep talking really fast and you don't stop and you keep moving all the time, everybody's like slightly behind you listening, trying to keep up with you. The moment
I have a question.
You hit that pause though, right? You hit that pause.
Yes.
Everybody kind of catches up to you in the moment, and then you continue. So
the breaths are important.
Right.
That not just for acting, but let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
So how do you feel about people who, when they're listening to an audiobook or a podcast, speed up the voice?
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. Well, people are going to hate me for this, Hollis, but I think
we're going to be of the same opinion, so we'll
well, I hope so.
Be okay.
Because if this is not, we're going to tragically crash right now.
Yeah.
I personally don't speed up my podcasts when I listen, because I like to feel like if I meet Hollis in real life, and if I'm used to listening to you at 2x speed and I meet you, I'll be like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Hollis? You're talking so slow. It's like, no, I've created this version of you that gives me back time. I get that. I can go through, listen to more episodes by speeding you up, but I like connecting with the voice that's speaking with me, and I just want them to be in their natural state. Now, I've actually listened to podcasts that I've slowed them down because they talk so fast. Like, I love their content, but oh my gosh, take a breath already. Like they don't slow. They're just they sound like an auctioneer. Like, if I put my hand up,
Oh, wow.
I'm going to buy something. Basically, if I put my hand up, right? That's why I'm so
Yeah.
nervous. I'm like, sold. I'm like, no, I didn't mean to buy that, right?
Yeah, and you're intently listening, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, but I waited for the end of the point.
Yeah.
I thought you said that the answer was right, and then it was a drive-by.
So I slow them down so that I can enjoy their content, which feels weird. But again, so I don't know. What about you? How are you on the scale? What are you feeling? Come on.
I am very similar to you. Okay. One of my things actually is I really get annoyed at people who do this, particularly with audiobooks, because audiobooks, it's not just they're reading a book to you, they're acting out a story.
Yeah.
And like you said, the pauses are such an important part of the mood and the emotional conveyance. It's very important the way, and even if they're like eking out a word slowly or haltingly, they're doing that on purpose because the character is having a hard time saying it,
right,
or whatever. And it's and it drives honestly, it drives me crazy because I'm like, you are in a way sort of disrespecting the performance of the book, not like of the intention of the author and the voice actor doing it. And I apologize to anyone who loves listening to things at high. Because my husband is one of them. This is why I think about it, because he will listen to beautiful novels.
Yeah.
You know, like I can understand listening to a lecture a little bit faster. I still personally prefer not to. But if you're listening to like a tutorial or a lecture that's academic, you're not worrying about acting, so that's fine. But when it's a story,
right,
come on, like, respect the players.
Yeah.
You don't interrupt things during a live play for a reason.
Yeah.
Let it sit, let it settle, because that's part of the emotional impact.
Yeah. I can't imagine standing up at an opera going, hey, hurry it up, I got things to do. It's like, sit down.
On that one note for 5 seconds. That's too long.
Sit down.
I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
I'm bothered.
Right? But then there's somebody listening to us, Hollis, right now, and they are swearing at their earbuds or whatever, going, how dare you? I only listen at 3x speed, everything, and I can listen to multiple podcasts. Great. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
that's fantastic.
That's fine. You do you.
Yep.
This is just an opinion, but for me,
it's an opinion, and I think that it just depends on what you value more.
Yeah.
If you value quantity or efficiency of time more than you value the emotional journey of the story, or musicality or cadence of speech or something, then okay.
Yep.
That's fine.
Okay.
Those are your priorities, and I respect that, but respectfully, I will never.
What do, when you have a chance to listen to something other than your own show or anything related to authorship, what other podcasts do you like to listen to?
So I love creepy podcasts.
Ooh, okay.
I love creepy and I love history podcasts. And, I think I told you about the one with Eleanor Yanaga, the We're Not So Different podcast. Oh, that's a history podcast. And Eleanor Yanaga and there's another historian, Luke, and I want to say his last name's Foster. I'm sorry, Dr. Luke. I can't remember your last name. I started listening for Eleanor. I'm a big fan. But it's a wonderful, wonderful podcast. And people don't realize historians we can be very funny and very sarcastic, because the story of human history is a lot of people being petty to one another, which in hindsight is very hilarious.
Yeah.
So, history is not boring if you look at it through the right lens and, put it into proper perspective of like, well, yeah, like this happened, but keep in mind this happened because they were offended that they were served spinach instead of peas at this dinner, and they were just powerful enough to have a fit about it and nobody stopped them.
Wow.
Like, can we remember this, please?
Wow.
And you just put it all into and then you had a crusade, but or whatever. But it's just one of those things. So I love We're Not So Different. I love I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look at there's one, it's a Victorian podcast that I absolutely love. It's My Victorian Nightmare.
Ooh, sounds good.
It's so good. The host, she's New York based, and her name is Genevieve, and she is just, the Victorians were creepy. They were weird. I don't know if people realize how weird and gross and creepy Victorian culture really was.
Right.
They did some weird things. We don't need to get into all that, but she talks about all of it, and she does it in a very theatrical manner.
Nice.
And she has a very pleasant speaking voice, so if you enjoy that. But she does her research really well, and just to give some more flavor, another one that I enjoy very much is That's Messed Up, which is an SVU podcast. And I know that one's super popular. I'm sure a lot of people have heard it.
There you go.
But I am a fan of Law & Order SVU, as many people are. And Lisa and Cara do a very fun job, I would say summarizing, but the episodes end up being 2 hours long. They talk through with they're both female comedians. They're both comedians. So they talk through the episode and sum up what happened. And then they will talk about the true crime that inspired that episode.
Interesting.
Which is, sometimes you really need a strong stomach.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's really interesting. And then sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but they'll get an actor from the episode to come on as a guest and talk about it. And they have gotten most of the core cast members.
Really?
Oh yeah. They've gotten some big names. They got BD Wong. They got people. And they haven't gotten Mariska yet.
That's hard. That would be hard. Yeah.
That would be hard. Though we're all waiting for the day. And then they haven't gotten Christopher Maloney yet. But we're gonna get them. They have gotten other detectives. They got Danny Pudi. They got Kelly. The blonde. Oh God, I forgot. Her real name's Kelly. So I'm so sorry, I forgot your name.
Yeah.
The blonde detective.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's those. I would say those are my three podcast genres. Is I really like history. I really like weird, creepy things and stories, and I like true crime.
Okay. What we talked before we hit record. My question to you is formats. There's interview for podcasts, there's co-hosted, which we're doing right now, and then there's a whole storytelling. There's all these other different kinds, right? Is there a typical format that you like, either to do or to listen to? Because that's kind of another thing I get a lot of people asking, what format of my show should be? What should I do?
I think that you should feel that one out for yourself. I personally seem to prefer co-hosted.
Okay.
Because those just happen to be the podcasts I tend to listen to. The My Victorian Nightmare is more storytelling.
Yeah.
And she is just the singular host. But and let's talk about Myths Baby is another one with Greek mythology podcast and that's another storytelling one, which is really fun. But for me personally, I usually just end up doing my own solo, I guess you could call it storytelling, my stumbling journey through life podcast. And that is honestly mostly a function of me doing these things at the last minute, because when I initially set out, I think, okay, well, and you can speak to this more than I can, but I believe that having your schedule more so than the format of your podcast, because I think the format of your podcast might sort of evolve into what it ought to be if you just sit down and start talking.
Yeah, right.
And you'll figure out what works for you.
Right.
But I think that the rhythm, the schedule of your podcast is the most important thing to determine when you're starting out, because when I first started out, I was a little overzealous. I have a full-time job. I write books. I do all my own marketing. I do blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, I take care of the household and all these things.
Yeah.
And I underestimated how much it would take for me to do things.
Yeah.
So I, because it is a lot of work, as you well know.
Right.
And especially if you do things like you, where you might edit something now and then. I am so like, and done. Just publish that immediately. Make sure the microphone didn't completely crackle and kill people's ears.
Yeah.
And
good to go.
It's perfect. Yeah. But other people put more effort in.
Yeah.
And I just write an outline, like a little, like half a page with like 4 or 5 milestones. And I just go live and I do it because that's all I have time for. When I first started, I was like, oh, well, I'll do 2 episodes a month. And I was thinking, and since the first episode I did with my best friend was about an hour long, I'll just stick to that format.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have the time to dedicate into booking my friends and things and, you know, to be guests. Not that I didn't have people who wouldn't want to talk to me, but at least that's what they told me.
Right.
Something suspect here. Yeah. But, you know, scheduling things as an adult is very difficult. If you see your friends once every 8 months or something, it's fine. But so I said, okay, well, I'll be solo. Well, it's hard to come up with an hour-long podcast twice a month, content-wise, that you hope will be engaged. My earlier episodes, I'm like, wow, I'm babbling. When I listen to my episodes from 2023 or whenever I first started, and or 2022, I don't even know. 2022, I think, is when the first episode went up.
Wow.
And I just it quickly fell. Like I went through a bit of a tumultuous stage where I just would be super sporadic with my episodes, and all of that. But now I'm in a good rhythm. I do it once a month. I do it the last Sunday of every month, and
good.
You know, that's it. But finding your schedule is, I think, more important than, for me anyway, important than deciding your format, because your format will happen. Just talk about what you want to talk about and the format will come. Yeah. And you have like 9 different podcasts? That's a lot.
9 different shows. Yeah. So, but in each of them I get to do something different. So next chapter, the author podcast, all interviews. And it's all about my guests. None of it's about me, because I'm not an author. So who cares what I think? Because I have never written a book. So it's all everything. We hear
what readers think.
Yes.
We genuinely hear what readers think.
But it's mostly focused on my guest. So that's all interview. And I feel like I break rules with that show, but I like it. So it's fine. And then this show, I have 4 different formats within this show. For the How to Podcast series, solo episodes, short little daily Daves that I call them daily Daves. So they're bonus episodes.
I love the Dave dial. I love the daily Daves.
See?
This is
I'm really using my name as much as possible. The daily Daves are just like bonus unnumbered episodes when things come to me in the moment, and I don't want to wait for an episode in the future, but something happens. I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this now, so I can jump outside of my content, do whatever I want, and they're just bonus. So this show has 3 episodes a week. So I'm doing for this podcast. And that's been going for 3+ years. 3 a week.
Ooh.
Right. So
Well, and how long? Is it like 15 minutes? Is it the daily days?
Daily
Are they
Daves
like little...
can be 5-10 minutes-ish. The solo episodes can be 20 to 40 minutes for me, just
That's
kind of
awesome.
teaching podcasting. And that's two kinds. Third kind would be this, co-hosted. We're doing it right now. And then the fourth one, my new one, is I'm going to be doing panel discussions. So in just having one person with me, I'm going to have more than one. So maybe up to 4 different voices talking about a topic. And then maybe...
And you would be like the moderator.
Yeah, and then it'd be the group speak, and then maybe even bringing in a guest to talk to the group. So that's another whole thing too. So that's multi-level episodes within this. And what's interesting is I have some people who only like the Daily Daves. I have some people who only like the guests co-hosted. Some only like the solo, right? So they have a choice, which is interesting. Yeah, so each of my shows have their own little flair. And I get to do different things in the different shows. And they're not exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and it gives you a chance to show your personality because everyone is so multifaceted.
Yeah.
It's like, hi, I don't just have one speed because I am a living, breathing human on the planet.
Yeah.
So I have more than one speed. And that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, because if I try to do everything in one show, I think I'd wear out my audience. They'd be like, Dave, pick something, okay? Because you're all over the place here. Like, just pick one thing. Do an interview show. Just do an interview show. That's it. Stop doing all these things. Yeah. So, anyways, that gives me the flexibility to jump around. So, yeah, I love,
and see, and that's something I think a lot of people, like I was talking about the evolution of things. Like, I think I've maybe had 3 guests in my entire show history, which is fine. But it's mostly when my friends are like, hey, I have availability to hang. And I'm like, woo.
Right.
And so we'll do that. But I think that it makes a lot of sense just to go for it and to cater to what you can share and what you're good at sharing.
I know you're a guest because you're on my show, but the power of being a guest, I'm not fishing here for anything, by the way. The power of being a guest on a podcast, how is that for you as a podcaster? Does it have any kind of relationship with your show, or do you enjoy being a guest over being a host? What do you think?
I love being a guest because I didn't have to put in any of the setup.
Yes. I just show up, talk, and leave. It's great.
I just show up, generally prepared to talk about the things I said I was going to talk about. And then I don't have to help clean up the party. It's
right.
So I do love that. Yeah. I kind of don't like hosting actual parties for the same reason. I'm very much but I'm also very much like, I would like to go to sleep when I would like to go to sleep. And so if the party is at your house, it's harder to kick your guests out.
Right.
Than it is to just leave early. Yeah. I'm that person. I will happily help you set up and clean up, and I will bring food, but I don't want to host ever. So podcasting is less cleanup, of course, but I really enjoy that. And I enjoy because I have, I love chatting with people. I love making new friends and hanging out with my other friends. And it's just like, hey, we get to hang out for a while. This is fun. This is cool. And, so I think I prefer being a guest.
Really?
Even though I'm okay being a host.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Then I'm not responsible for the content. I just kind of like say whatever waddles through my brain and it works out.
I like it. All right. Long-term plans for your show. Where are you headed? Do you have a target?
I'm still figuring that out.
Okay.
And that's okay.
Good.
That's okay. And that's another thing I think that a lot of people in any creative space need to learn is whether you're writing or painting or podcasting, it's okay if you're still not sure what your ultimate goal is with that thing. It's fine. I the goal is still just like, hi, I exist as an author. Please read my books. They're right over here. And from my experience, and I think anyone will tell you that when people like you, if they get a feel for who you are,
right,
then they're more likely just to pick up. They're more likely to be interested in what you have to say if they can understand your personality a little bit. And I think that's I just think that's why I do it, is just exposure. Essentially, it's a way to connect with people and readers. It gives them an opportunity to ask me questions. I'm not super popular or anything on my podcast, but it gives people an avenue to contact me and just talk to me that's not trying to come to a big convention where I'm selling my books.
right. Nice.
Yeah. And how about you? What do you actually, as a host, do you get to be a guest on other people's podcasts?
I think I'd like to do more of it because, again, I don't have to do any of the background work. But I think people see me as a host and they're like, well, maybe he doesn't want to be a guest. But I do. I love being a guest. I love being a guest on somebody's early shows. I love that because they're still figuring things out. And then there's one show I went on. I was their first guest. And then now they're like super huge on YouTube. And I'm like, and it's kind of cool because I go back and I'm like, I was the first guest on that show. Like, I didn't wreck it. I didn't wreck the show. Yay! So
you're the foundation of the show.
Yeah.
It's now popular.
All I can say is it got better after I was on there. So that's good. So yeah, no, I love that kind of stuff. One thing I like to do is, because I help podcasters, is I like to be the host on someone else's show, interviewing them on their own podcast. Right? Because you know that weird podcast episode where you talk about yourself near the beginning? Where you're like, hey, this is me and I do this and do. It really feels weird.
Sometimes it's more than one. It's strange.
To talk about yourself by yourself, it feels a little odd. But to have somebody else come in and ask you questions about you on your show, and now you move from the host seat to the guest seat on your own podcast, and someone else is the host for you, it's kind of a different dynamic. And you get to talk about things you might not normally think to talk about. And so I like doing that. That's one of my little fun things to do.
That's really cool. Yeah, I think that when you find the wormhole for more time in your schedule, that you should make that like podcast number 10, technically, where like Dave takes over or Dave domination, whatever.
Dave talks to humans. There you go. And improv. Yeah.
And improv. But you should come and co-host on my podcast.
I would love to come on.
I would love that.
Come on.
I would absolutely love that. I will not bother you in November because I know November is a lot right
all those episodes are done. So we're good. Anytime.
Oh, that's right.
And they're all done.
Okay, well, you and I will email. We'll chat because I also don't really have strong plans for episodes. I am famous as a pantser in that regard.
There you go. That's a great term.
And I will write an outline an hour before I sit down to record. So, yeah.
It would be my honor to have time with you. Any time with you is great. It's a lot of fun.
I would love that. Yay! Well, let's do it sometime. We'll chat about, because I've got any month is good for me. It would just be the last Sunday of every month because I do it live, and
nice.
Yeah. And
okay.
I'll figure out how to do it because I know we have Zoom. And I don't have a Zoom subscription anymore, so I don't have the unlimited timing.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
Okay. There's another platform that I'm playing with right now called Boomcaster. Boom Caster. Boomcaster lets you go live on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn or all those other places. It's kind of like a Riverside, but without all the editing features. It's mostly just for streaming. But Boomcaster is the one to look into. But some of my friends use it. They're really good.
Okay. I need to look that up because I know, is it StreamYard?
StreamYard is, that's really good. It got a little expensive recently, but Boomcaster's a little bit cheaper. And
all right,
anyway,
well, I might have to do that. Thank you.
There you go. That's a freebie.
And free tip to everyone paying attention.
Pay attention. Pay attention. I love it.
Everyone paying attention who's not listening at like 3 times the speed.
Yeah, slow down, people. You just missed something.
You just missed about Boomcaster.
So, yes, I'm going to love to come on your show. Before we head out, talk again about your show and where we can find you, Hollis. And would you please commit to come back and talk to me again sometime on the show?
I would love to.
Okay.
I would absolutely love to.
All right.
We can co-host again and go on our random rabbit holes and have an awesome time.
I love it. Okay, promote your show again before we head out the door. Come on.
All right. So plug time. Yep. It's called I Do What I Want. I'm your host, Hollis Jo McCollum, and it's on my YouTube channel, which is Hollis Jo McCollum Author. That's the @
Yep.
anytime, and it's on Spreaker and it's on Spotify, and you can listen just like without the visuals. But I also do a YouTube live of me stumbling through the podcast.
Nice.
Every time I do it. That's it's wholly unedited, so you get the authentic podcasting life, and cats running through the room if they get sassy.
I love it.
But yeah, please listen. And yeah, I talk about books mostly, and events, and things related to being an author.
There you go. Excellent. Yeah. If you love that, you got the great new podcast to fall in love with. Lots of episodes, lots of great things to connect with, and all this is just so much fun to have on your screen as you watch later, as you watch live, or as you have on your show. So if you're looking for a great guest for your podcast and you have an author podcast and Hollis hasn't been on it yet, what is wrong with you? You need this person on your show, right, Hollis?
I will talk about anything. I might not know about everything, but I will read an encyclopedia entry real quick. We'll figure it out.
I will fake it. I will. Yes. Perfect.
I am great. I'm improv.
Yes. And
I am. Yes. And I will. I have been known to fake a great many things and go on to do very well.
There you go.
Yes.
Excellent. Hollis, thank you so much for doing this. It's great. Everyone, all information for Hollis in the show notes as always. Go to your YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and do all the click the bell, ring the bell, do all the things. Share this.
That's the experience right there. I always forget to say the things. So thank you for saying that.
Share her channel.
Share, like, subscribe.
Right.
Comment, interact with me.
Get in the
I'll
comments.
actually answer you.
Right. I heard somebody say on a podcast last night, "I'll see you in the comments," and I'm like, I love that saying as a goodbye. I'll see you in the comments. I'm like,
you can use that on so many things too. Like any platform that has commenting, you can
see.
Kudos to them.
There you go. So I stole it. I don't remember who said it, but I stole it. And if I stole it from you, I apologize. But maybe for you.
No, Hollis, it wasn't me.
You can use that for yours.
Because I'm stealing it.
I'll see you in the comments. I love it.
Yep.
All right, Hollis.
I love that. I'm going to steal that too.
There you go.
Awesome.
Good. Thank you so much, Hollis. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds great.
Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast all the way through to the end. I love having these great guest co-hosts on the show to share their podcast with you. You have some homework to do. And what I'm asking of you is to go check out our featured guest co-host today. Go over and listen to their podcast. The links are always in the show notes. And I'd love for you to go and give them your love and support. And I think if we can all do that for each other, podcasting will be a lot more fun for all of us. So it's time to do what you've asked others to do for you. It's time to do for this guest co-host. Links in the show notes. Go over and check out their show and leave them a review, do the follow, go listen to their episodes in full, the entirety of an episode, which again shows to the apps that it's a good podcast because you're going there and you're staying to the end. It's probably one of the best ways you can help a podcaster grow their audience and be shown to more people is by simply going and listening wherever you listen to the very end, like you're doing right now here. This is the perfect way to signal to wherever you're listening on This is a podcast worth promoting. And all of the apps want you to stay on as long as possible. So go over and listen to our guest co-host episode and leave them some feedback. If they have a buy me a coffee, send them a coffee. If they have a speak pipe, send them a voice message. If they have an email, send them an email. If they're on Instagram, send them a direct message. Do something to support our guest co-hosts. They've given up their time to be here with you, to be here with me, and we can give that back to them with time and attention, our love, our support. Thank you for doing all that for me as well. Here on the How to Podcast series, we'll talk to you soon for our next episode. Hey, it's Dave. I'm here with you still. Yeah, thanks for sticking around. Everyone else is gone. Just you and me. I get to answer a question from the listening audience for the How to Podcast series. And I'd love to answer this one for you if you've been wrestling with this, is how do I get on podcasts as a guest? How do I find a place where I can be on shows that are interesting, fun, that bring a return on investment? How do I get on shows, Dave? What do I do? For me, I'm using Podmatch, podmatch.com. It's a great resource for podcasters to find and be a guest. It's a great tool. Alex and Alicia there at Podmatch, two of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and they're all about helping podcasters find guests and guests to find podcasters. So it's a dating service, and it's great. It really works well. They offer up suggestions to you, I believe, twice a day. Usually get 3 at a time. And it's for you. It's kind of like swiping left and right. Yeah, I like this one, maybe not this one. And it learns what you like. And the nice thing, too, is it gives you the opportunity to leave a rating and review and leave your comments about the podcast you go on as a guest. And as the host, the guests that come on your show, you get to leave some feedback, which also helps other people to find you. I would encourage everybody who has a podcast to be on Podmatch for this reason. They have an option for hosts to be on Podmatch, because the more hosts, the better. And there's a lack of hosts. There's more guests than there are hosts. For I believe at the time of recording, and I'm in Canada, $6 a month allows you to get your podcast on Podmatch as the host of the show. So for $6 a month, which is nothing really for the month, right? $6 a month, you can get advertising for your podcast. More people will find you and find your show through Podmatch by simply being on there as a host and paying the $6 a month. No matter how many guests you come on, people are going to find out about your show, because Podmatch is going to show your show to potential guests, and people can check out your podcast and connect with you. So for $6 a month, come on, you can do that. So I'm encouraging you to try something like Podmatch as well. Go through the podcasts that you love, and when a podcast you love has a guest, go to the show notes, because you know that the guest podcast as a guest, they're on the show, and all their contact information is there. Reach out to them and say, hey, I heard you on Dave's podcast. I'd like to have you on my podcast, and I loved your episode with Dave. Use all of your competitors' podcasts as the beginning points to find people to be on your show. Go in your niche and go in your area, your niche. If you have a dad podcast, go listen to a dad podcast and go start looking at their guests and going, I really like this guest and what they talked about. They'd be a great fit for my show. Reach out to them, because you know they already do it. They are guests because you heard them on a show. So Podmatch is a great tool to promote your podcast, meet guests, but also then go through the show notes of all the episodes of all the other podcasts that talk about things that you do and start reaching out to the guests that have been on those other shows. 2 great ways for you to find guests and to be a guest. My encouragement for you is to then also listen to shows that you like and look for the gaps in the content, things that they haven't talked about often or at all that you could speak to, and say to the host, listen, I've been listening for a while, love your show. I notice you haven't talked about, for this show, for example, microphones. I notice you don't talk about microphones often. I could come on and give like a 101 about microphones for your listening audience to help you in your content, to kind of fill in some of the gaps that I'm hearing as a listener. Offer up content ideas to a potential host, and make sure they have guests before you reach out to them, because some of them are solo podcasts. They'll never have a guest. And you reaching out shows that you're not really paying attention. Always listen to the show. Always understand the nature of the show. And keep that in mind. Okay, so reach out if you have any questions around guesting, being a guest, finding guests over at howtopodcast.ca. Thanks for being here. Happy podcasting. Talk to you soon. Cheers. Bye.